we've said many times, if there is peace in the world in the future, it's going to be people like members of the Hizmet movement and others who will pull together to understand each other and to talk it through and bring about peace. Mr. Gülen is an impressive person, not because of his person or his personality or his organization, but because of his ideas. My impression of him is that he's a very humble person. He has a strong point of view about various things, but he seems like a very humble person, one who listens and encourages listening and sharing and building. But it's his ideas that are the power. I see the Hizmet movement as the best expression of Islam that I have seen anywhere.
I read in, I think it's in Mr. Gülen's book, Faith and Tolerance. I was intrigued by love and tolerance. I don't usually use the word tolerance. For me, tolerance is a negative term, meaning I'll put up with you. But that's not the way that I've come to understand Mr. Gülen uses the term tolerance. He talks about let your heart be as tolerant as the wide open ocean. And that indicates to me an openness to allowing the other to enrich you as you enrich them. And that's the perfect definition, I think, of interreligious dialogue. And I certainly see this as a prominent feature of his teachings.
I've been learning more about him over the last several years, and I have done some reading of his sermons and have taken a look at the kind of commitments he has made, building upon commitments of earlier thinkers in Turkey, committing himself to science and education and pro-EU membership, and just a solid message of moderation and cultural dialogue and outreach.
Hizmet seems to me to be a very good representative of the best in Islam in terms of being open and feeling a responsibility to the world, and the pluralism that is evidenced in the Quran, which tells us to respect all the prophets and all the people with the book.
Mr. Gülen is, to me, simultaneously both incredibly modest and a visionary. And I see that anyone who has studied his words or has come in contact with him or has become part of the education projects that he began long ago has also had the transforming power of service, education, peacemaking, and dialogue. And so it's strange to think that one person with a deep heart and a commitment to living so that others may live can really change the world. And yet I see this person, Mr. Gülen, as someone who's not interested in personal power or personal acclaim or making speeches about himself. It's really about letting others live.
I have read about Fethullah Gülen. Of course, I have never met him personally, but I've read some of his writings, and I have read some analytical articles about him that were written by people who were not members of the Hizmet movement. And I know something about the controversy. Is he the real thing? Is he what he says he is? Is he what his supporters say he is? And my personal experience is that he really is the real thing. He has written about how important it is to have a religious grounding but secular education. This is my personal background as well. He is in favor of engagement and dialogue with people of other religious traditions. That's very important to him and the movement.
I think it's rare to find an organization which is so bottom-up driven, which has gotten the principles so deeply ingrained into every member that you can talk to anybody and get the same feeling of what the commitment is to Islam, the commitment is to doing the right things in the world, and the personal sacrifice that Hizmet members produce.
I have been very impressed by Gülen Efendim. He's
a wise man, which is not all that common in the world anymore, I'm afraid. He's a learned man, which means that he understands his tradition very, very well. And he's an open man who is interested in dialogue and doesn't feel that in a religious debate someone has to win and someone has to lose. He believes that in a truly open religious debate, everybody wins.
As we are a minority that's misunderstood here, the efforts of the Hizmet movement and Fethullah Gülen to help Muslims here and around the world speak in our own voice as opposed to being represented or misrepresented in media is something that we benefit from tremendously. Mr. Fethullah Gülen's movement, the Hizmet movement, is making tremendous contributions to Muslim culture in today's world, in that it's helping Muslims focus on education so that we can contribute to the betterment of this world. It's helping Muslims focus on cultural exchange so that we can be better understood in our own terms for what we represent. And the Hizmet movement is allowing and inspiring Muslims to give something back through relief work. And that's a significant contribution to the Ummah. As an academic, as a historian of Islamic history and sciences, Hizmet movement, I see, and Fethullah Gülen does a great job in representing authentic Islam.